Good people, we need to talk about something that has been making serious waves across Nigeria and causing heated debates on social media, in government circles, and among ordinary citizens trying to make sense of the security situation in our beloved country. Sheikh Gumi, the controversial Islamic cleric from Kaduna, has once again stirred the pot with statements that have left many Nigerians scratching their heads and asking whether we are moving forward or backward in our fight against insecurity. The statement we are examining today is explosive. It is contentious, and depending on where you stand, it might either make perfect sense or sound completely outrageous. Sheikh Gumi recently made remarks suggesting that the weapons and guns carried by Fulani herders who have been accused of terrorist activities are actually for self-defense, and he went further to propose that the Nigerian government should include these armed groups in the national budget. Yes, you heard that correctly. The same government that has been battling bandits, kidnappers, and terrorists across the northwest and north-central regions is being advised to allocate budgetary provisions for people who many communities accuse of carrying out attacks, kidnappings, and destruction of farmlands. The statement has naturally generated a firestorm of reactions from different quarters, with some people viewing it as a reasonable plea for dialogue and inclusion, while others see it as an endorsement of criminality and an insult to victims of these attacks. Sheikh Gumi has consistently positioned himself as someone who understands the grievances of these groups, someone who can mediate between them and the government, and someone who believes that many of these individuals have been pushed into crime by circumstances beyond their control. He has led delegations into forests to meet with bandit leaders, advocated for amnesty programs similar to what was done for Niger Delta militants, and repeatedly argued that dialogue and understanding are more effective than military force in addressing the crisis. According to reports circulating in early 2025, Sheikh Gumi argued that many Fulani herders are arming themselves because they feel threatened and unprotected by the state. He pointed to instances where their cattle have been rustled, where they have been attacked by rival groups or local vigilantes, and where they have been displaced from grazing routes they have used for generations. From his perspective, these weapons are not tools of aggression, but instruments of survival in a hostile environment. If you are finding this discussion enlightening and you want to stay updated on the most important stories shaping Nigeria today, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so you never miss out on the conversations that matter. We are building a community of informed and engaged citizens, and your support helps us continue bringing you content that goes beyond the headlines. The proposal to include them in the national budget appears to be connected to a broader vision of formalized support, perhaps similar to what vigilante groups receive in some states or what reformed militants received under amnesty programs. The idea would be to bring these armed groups out of the shadows, give them official recognition, training, and support, and in return, secure their commitment to peace and lawful behavior. On paper, this might sound like a pragmatic approach to ending the cycle of violence. However, the backlash has been swift and severe. Many Nigerians, especially those from farming communities in Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and other states that have borne the brunt of herder-related violence, find the suggestion deeply offensive. These communities have lost loved ones, seen their homes destroyed, and had their farmlands rendered unusable due to attacks attributed to armed herders. For them, the idea that the government should reward these attackers with budgetary allocations feels like a betrayal, like the government is choosing to appease criminals rather than protect law-abiding citizens. Critics argue that such a move would set a dangerous precedent where any group that takes up arms and causes enough chaos can expect to be rewarded with government funds and recognition. There is also the question of accountability and justice. Thousands of Nigerians have been killed, maimed, or displaced by bandit attacks and herder-farmer clashes over the past several years. For victims and their families, the priority is not integration or amnesty, but prosecution and punishment. They want to see justice served, they want perpetrators held accountable, and they want assurances that such violence will never happen again. From their perspective, talking about including armed groups in the budget before first addressing the crimes committed is putting the cart before the horse. The Fulani herder crisis is not just about security. It is also about identity, land, climate change, and economic transformation. For centuries, Fulani herders have practiced transhumance, moving their cattle across vast distances in search of water and pasture. However, Population growth, desertification, urbanization, and the expansion of farmlands have increasingly brought herders into conflict with settled farming communities. Traditional grazing routes have been blocked or converted to other uses, water sources have become scarce, and competition over land has intensified. Addressing this crisis requires more than just military force or budgetary provisions. It requires a comprehensive approach that includes land use planning, conflict resolution mechanisms, alternative livelihoods for herders, investment in ranching and modern animal husbandry, and serious efforts to address the underlying drivers of violence. Sheikh Gumi's intervention, controversial as it is, forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about what kind of solutions we are willing to consider. Are we prepared to take risks for peace, even if it means engaging with people we consider our enemies? Or do we believe that some lines cannot be crossed, some crimes cannot be forgiven, and some actions demand nothing less than full accountability under the law? What is clear is that the current approach is not working. Despite massive military expenditure and numerous operations, insecurity continues to plague large parts of Nigeria. People are still being killed, communities are still being displaced, and fear still governs daily life in many areas. Something has to change, and perhaps this controversial proposal is a sign that we need to think more creatively about how we address the security challenges facing our nation. Make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section below because we really want to hear what you think about this issue. Should the government engage with armed groups and provide them with support, or should the focus be on military solutions and prosecution? Your voice matters in this conversation, so share this video with friends and family so we can get more people talking about these critical issues.